Welcome to Below the Forest Floor. My name is Nancy, and today we are going to be discussing one of the most famous cryptids in U.S. history, Mothman. Mothman is a cryptid native to West Virginia, and the official story is that the very first sighting of Mothman was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, 1966, on the night of November 15. According to Ohio State University's website, people claim that they were seeing a flying man with 10-foot wings, and he was 7 feet tall with large eyes. Some even called this creature a monster bird. The first people that claimed to see the Mothman and started all the calamity were two young couples, Mary and Steve Mallet and Linda and Roger Scarberry. They were so frightened by what they'd seen in the sky that fateful night that they actually went to the police and claimed that while they were out for a drive, their headlights caught a huge creature with glowing red eyes. They were in an area of the town called the TNT area, which is now an attraction during the Mothman Festival. Although the name may sound a bit intimidating, it's only called that because this is the site where a World War II munitions plant once operated. Since this sighting, more and more strange occurrences began to be reported in the small town of Point Pleasant. The sightings ranged from the normal Mothman incidents to people claiming that they saw UFOs. Some people believe that the UFO sighting situation is just for attention and to add to the town's mysterious history. But others believe that Mothman may be what set off an era of supernatural events that is attracting these supernatural creatures to the area. And some of those who believe this think that it is because Mothman himself may be an alien. Although the story of this couple is the most popular origin story, it's not the only one. Some believe that Mothman was seen a few days prior, on November 12, 1966, by a gravedigger in the small town of Clendon, West Virginia, just 1 hour away from Point Pleasant. People like to argue about which story came first, especially since the second story about the guy seeing it before these people did isn't as widely known. But it's all up for debate, as most of these things are. This witness claims that they were working at the cemetery one night when he looked up and noticed that there was something that looked like a big brown human being zooming treetop to treetop. I'm sure you expect to see some weird stuff while working in a graveyard, but I definitely don't think this is one of them. Now that we know the origin story, how exactly did Mothman get his name? Especially since people were calling this thing a bird. Well, according to John Keel's book, The Mothman Prophecies in 1975, page 78, chapter 6, the mysterious flying creature everyone had been reporting was dubbed Mothman by an anonymous copy editor. This name was brought about because it was spun off from the Batman comic character who was at the time a very popular TV series. Although this was not at all a popular name at its debut due to the fact that everyone had been claiming that the wings were more bird-like than moth in appearance, it's what stuck. It was what was most popular. So people saw a big scary monster. So what? What makes this one so special? Well, besides the fact that he does chase people and witnesses claim that Mothman flew at them, he's never really seemed to have physically harmed anyone himself. That isn't to say that he hasn't killed anyone though. People believe that when the Mothman is sighted, that disaster is about to strike. One of the largest disasters that he was sighted at was at the collapse of Silver Bridge. Silver Bridge spans between West Virginia and Ohio and is suspended right above the Ohio River. There were 64 people on the bridge that day and only 46 survived the icy 44-degree water. So how does Mothman tie into this horrible tragedy? Well, it was a cold December day in 1967, just 1 year after the first Mothman sighting, and people had been seeing him more frequently right before the bridge collapsed. So people believed that maybe he prophesized or was warning people that this was about to happen. This was further cemented by the fact that sightings of him began to skyrocket before different disasters. For example, people in Moscow were seeing him right before the 1999 Russian apartment bombings. And people in Mexico claimed to have seen him right before the air poisoning became much worse. Mothman went from a small-town urban legend to an international symbol of disaster and misfortune to come. It's been so widely discussed that people claim that the actual men in black have begun to get involved. They have reportedly been seen at every location the disasters occurred that Mothman prophesied, and any time people have gone to the media about having seen the Mothman, they claim that the men in black questioned them. The most recent sightings of this mysterious cryptid was in Chicago, Illinois, 2019. According to the online news site, The Depalia, Mothman has made the Chicago area his home since 2017, when people first started reporting large winged creatures they believed could be this incredible beast. A quote from the article states that it looked like a person with wings that were stretched out and flapping. The man who claimed this was a truck driver who was picking up a shipment at the largest airport in Chicago, O'Hare International, when he saw this mysterious being. The fact that people have seen this monstrosity all over the world has people wondering if there's more than one Mothman. I mean, we did house the thought of him possibly being an alien. This theory has believers actually theorizing that there is an entire species making Earth their home. Of course, there are people out there who believe that barn owls or sandhill cranes may be what is causing all of these sightings, but others swear on their lives that it's something much more supernatural. Whether Mothman is just really a big bird or an extraterrestrial species here to warn of impending doom is still up for debate. He will always have a home here with us below the forest floor. Thank you so much for listening, everyone, and I hope to see you next week when we discuss our fascination with possessed and haunted toys.